Hi, everyone. This is Debbie Deno, and I have got one of my favorite mentors and functional medicine practitioners with us today. I'd like to introduce Dr. Jeff Wulfman. He is a family practice MD, and one of the reasons he's one of my favorites is he chose years ago to focus on root cause conditions. So how he describes himself, and I totally agree, is he specializes in working on complex chronic conditions. And over the course of his time, this has led him to explore more frequency-based therapies. And so he's here today to talk about that and how we can biohack ourselves for a variety of things. And I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'm going to let him explain that. But Dr. Jeff, thank you for joining me today. And you've got some things to share with us about healing and biohacking ourselves. So take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Debbie. So yeah, I've been in the trenches for a long time, and I think it's no surprise to everyone listening that there are more and more challenging inputs and things that our system has to deal with. And so we need more and more help in terms of being able to process toxins and the food supply and the water supply and all the different things that are challenging us. And so as I started exploring very much in the sort of biochemical realm, first medications and then supplements and herbs, and then more like acupuncture and homeopathy and other different treatment modalities trying to help people to heal, I found that I needed more and more, and they worked less and less over time. I think you probably noticed that too, Dr. Debbie.
Yes.
So I kept looking for, okay, what else is there that perhaps I'm missing and that could help? And this led me into the frequency-based realm, because ultimately we are energy, frequency, and vibration, when you kind of get down to it. And everything is just frequency. Even something that is, quote, solid is just slower vibration. And so that's how you and I connected around some herbal treatment things and energetic testing, and
Yes.
then I introduced you to the Centropics frequency-based wellness products.
Yes.
Primarily what we're talking about today is the cloud, which is a pulsed electromagnetic frequency mat. Actually, it's a whole new class we call PEMA instead of PMF, so pulsed electromagnetic activation, because it is so activating on a molecular level. And the connection I wanted to make today was around, you hear this term biohacking, right? It means different things to different people. And in December, the largest health documentary ever produced, ever, is called Biohack Yourself. It's coming out December 15 on Amazon Prime. And in the first episode, one of the products that and technologies that is featured is going to be the cloud mat, which is what we're talking about today. And there's a reason why it is. And I want to explain that. So there's all kinds of things that can be biohacking. So certain inputs, it could be intermittent fasting, dietary changes. It could be intravenous nutrients or NAD, or ketogenic diet, or this nutrient or that, or trying this, or red light therapy, or saunas, or these different sort of inputs to try and get the system to move and go into a more vital and healthy state, which is great. But one of the reasons I'm so excited about the cloud is that for any of those other things to work, and for the body to be able to respond to those other inputs, for instance, like an IV nutrient or something, you have to have the underlying energy to be able to take that and utilize it and respond to it and have the desired effect, whether that's laser or red lights or sauna or fasting or diet shifts. You have to have the energy. It's like if I have, where's my cell phone? Here it is. This thing has all kinds of capacities in the software to do all these things, and I can give it instructions and tell it what to do. But if the battery is dead, it cannot do it, no matter how many times I tell it to do it, no matter how sophisticated app I put in here. If I put do all this stuff, it just can't. So lay it on a wireless charger, run an electromagnetic field through it, it charges the battery, and now it can do the work. So that, and it's sort of a rough metaphor. That's why I feel the cloud is the foundation at which you build other, quote, biohack things upon, because you got to have the energy for the body to take those and actually and actually run with it. And that's what I see in how people respond. For
Yes.
instance, you go on supplement-based regimens. We talked about this last time. If they have the cloud underneath that, and then you
Hmm.
add that, and then they actually are able to respond and go. So
Hmm.
I just want to show, I just want to make that point, because if you just do these little single interventions in the biohack space, they can help, but they are only limited in how far they can take you if you don't have the molecular activation,
Yes.
the battery charged.
Hmm.
So to me, it's like the foundation of the pyramid, and then you build upon it. And the cloud
Hmm.
mat sits on the bottom and everything else on top. So I just want to show a little video that kind of is a
Hmm.
visual for that. This is on Debbie's website, which is
Hmm.
below in the link, her Centropics website. It's a video of human cells. One dish was given one 15-minute cloud session, and the other one was not. And then they videotaped it for the next 48 hours to see how do these cells respond to it. The nutrients are the same, the temperatures, everything's the same. The
Yes.
only difference is these were charged by the cloud signal. And this to me is very telling. I'm just going to show this. It's on a continuous running, so it's just about finishing up. But the one on the bottom was, these are cells, and what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to close this space. That's
Hmm.
what they're programmed to do. It's a healing model.
Hmm.
And you can see that the human cells in the bottom with that cloud session was able to close that distance twice as
Hmm.
fast. And this
Yes.
is it starting over again. So the one on the top kind of eventually gets there, but it takes forever and it's
Hmm.
really struggling. The cells at the bottom are vital, dividing
Yes.
and closing the space, because they have the energy and the power to do it. So this to me is a clear visual
Hmm.
of kind of what happens on the macro level,
Hmm.
and how that translates into, okay, that's great, those are cells, okay, big deal. But you domino that out,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that leads to quality
Hmm.
of life,
Yes.
energy, cognitive capacity,
Yes.
healing, detoxification, sleep,
Hmm.
pain, because those are the end products of a body that's working the way it should be.
Do you mind if I interrupt for just a second?
I'd love you
I
to.
just to update you, since we recorded that first video, I started using the cloud mat with my in-person patients before anything else. I'm also a chiropractor, massage therapist. I do a variety of body work type of treatments. And in the weeks that I've done that, I've only had one patient who, because for time's sake, said, no, I just want an adjustment, right? All of the ones who had that 15-minute session, that one 15-minute session, they responded better. They were easier to work on. They felt more relaxed. Their mood and their sleep and their pain was significantly less after one session.
Yeah.
And I've only been doing this for about 2 weeks. So it's so
Yes.
exciting to me. So yeah,
Yeah.
tell us more.
That's great. And to me, I had a hard time sort of wrapping my mind around things like that.
Yeah.
I'm optimistically skeptical.
Mm.
So, because I've seen a lot of stuff come and go, devices and
Right.
so forth. And
Right.
when I started hearing stories like this, and these were the people I know, I was like, what's the mechanism? Like, how
Hmm.
can that be like what you're talking about?
Hmm.
And after I dove into it, I met Dr. Kafka, the
Hmm.
inventor of this. I went to Liechtenstein and talked to him stuff. And I get it now. It's
Hmm.
because of everything that I just said.
Yes.
When you charge the system, the blood vessels open, the immune system is able to do what it do. These cells that are supposed to heal are able to heal. The nervous system calms down, because you
Yes.
actually have, the nervous system entrains to this nice signal. The body relaxes, and so that
Hmm.
just leads to things going faster and better,
Yes.
sort of universally. That's why I call it the base of the pyramid, which you stack everything else on top of.
I'm a believer.
Yeah, that's great feedback. That's good to hear. And then so that's that piece. Like,
Mhm.
this is the bottom row of stones at which you biohack or any other biohack on top of.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then the other thing I want to mention, which is unique about the cloud, is the different programs.
Yes.
There's five different programs.
Yes.
So I wanted to just run through those. Is that all right with you?
I'd love that.
Okay, cool.
I have my favorites. I'm curious to hear yours.
Okay. So the so when you talk about programs, what are programs? So
Hmm.
it's a very complex frequency that's put through. The programs would be like a song, and then you can also there's 5 intensity levels, which would be like the
Yeah.
volume. So you can
Yeah.
choose one of the 5 programs, and they're each a
Hmm.
little unique and different. So I'll just go through them. So the first one is program number one, or
Hmm.
relax.
Yes.
This starts at high intensity and frequency, and over the 15 minutes, it comes down gradually. They're all 15 minutes. You hit the start button, it runs for 15 minutes and stops. So
Hmm.
relax is if you're kind of wound up and you're like vibrating on a high level and you don't want to be anymore, like you want
Yeah.
to calm down or go to bed. This grabs you where you are, and then your nervous
Hmm.
system follows it down over the last 15 minutes. So I'll use this
Hmm.
like at nighttime.
Hmm.
If I'm a little wound up and I feel like it's
Hmm.
going to be tough for me to go to sleep, I just use this kind of a la carte from that standpoint.
Hmm.
And then program two is balance. It is the most gentle um, of the five. And it's kind of like gentle acupuncture and meridian alignment. People have dysregulated nervous systems. They're like
Hmm.
on that super fight or flight all the time, or they're kind of very labile. And a lot of people have that. If they're in if they're in a quiet space and they can really be quiet and close their eyes and attune to this, I've
Hmm.
had people who almost pass out when they
Yeah,
do it. People who can't sleep and haven't slept, and they're like, "That I haven't felt relaxed like that in years." Like their nervous system
absolutely.
finally calmed down.
Hmm.
So this one's really good for dysregulated nervous system.
Hmm.
And then number three is energize, which is the opposite of the relaxer. It starts low and goes high over 15 minutes instead of the other way.
Hmm.
This can be very activating for some people,
Hmm.
like mid-afternoon slump, or they're feeling kind of low. It can sort of help bring them up. It doesn't work that way for me. I actually want to take a nap after that.
Yeah, yeah,
So everybody's, that's the thing. These are generalities, but everybody's different.
right.
So I kind of see this as an a la carte as well. Sort of
Yeah.
the relax and energizer sort of as needed.
Hmm.
And then, oops, number four is synchronize.
Hmm.
This is very sort of um, head heart alignment, mind body alignment,
Hmm.
centering, grounding is very grounding.
Hmm.
When it helps that sort of nervous system just come into a very grounded space. I find this one very relaxing. And what's your experience with synchronized?
Um, I muscle test clients, and I would say typically quite a few of them come up with this. I also consider this as a whole body balance.
Yes.
I mean, I know that's not the name
Hmm.
of it, but
I
like you
agree.
said, it brings the nervous system down, and I think the body as a whole, you feel, like you said, more grounded, but more whole, centered, comfortable in your skin.
Exactly. I think they should switch the names. I think program two should be synchronized and program four would be balanced. But agree, like people who do four, sometimes they'll sit up and they'll go, "Oh,
Yeah,
wow, I just feel so, yeah,
different.
grounded, different." Yeah.
Hmm.
I've had people tear up after doing
Hmm.
this because they actually just feel
True.
aligned. And then program five, transform, that's the
Hmm.
one that was used in that cell study.
Yes.
It's the deepest penetration. It's the most sort of complex signal. It has the strongest healing response
Hmm.
stimulation.
Hmm.
So this, in terms of like what I was talking about, that molecular
Hmm.
activation. Um, so there's kind of like two main impacts. One is the molecular activation, which I talked about
Hmm.
diffusely, so the body can take it and go and heal. And then the other is bringing coherence of the nervous
Yes.
system.
Yes.
The breathing rate, the heart rate variability, the
Hmm.
nervous system. Those are like the two main.
Hmm.
And so transform is the most sort of like healing
Hmm.
stimulation, molecular activation. And then I would say programs two and four are more that
Hmm.
entrainment. and then one and three are sort of the a la carte to use for
Yeah, when you need. Hmm.
quality of life type thing. I had just 2 days ago, I worked with this whole family, and one of their children was having a problem processing a sort of upper respiratory thing, was still coughing heavily, and they
Hmm.
have the mat, and they said you wouldn't believe what happened. I'm like, what? Our kid was up coughing like all night, would not stop. And so we're
Hmm.
like, what the heck? Let's wrap the cloud around her chest and give her a session and see what happens.
Yeah.
And they were like, you wouldn't believe it. She just stopped. She stopped coughing
Mm,
and went to sleep.
that's
Like, and we
awesome.
did it 3 nights in a row. And I was like,
Hmm.
wow. And I hear stuff like that a lot.
Yes.
It's pretty cool
Yes.
because the body knows what to do. It wants to heal. It has to have the resources, which is like that's where the
Hmm.
nutrients and all stuff, but it has to have the energy.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this provides the energy.
Yes. One of the things that I really love too, the tissue response in that video, that really convinced me. But then too, my own experience, and just like you said, well, with this program, this happens. This is not a domineering, assertive type of treatment. You explain it really well, but how your body takes this charge and
Yes. Yes, I love that. I like the term sovereignty. So
yes.
it maintains the body's sovereignty. So it's not forcing the body to do
Hmm.
anything. And a lot of other inputs are. They're trying to
Yes.
like, and when you force, you get forced back in the other
Hmm.
direction.
Hmm.
This doesn't force. All it does is provides the molecular activation. And then
Hmm.
your body
Yes.
says it's like, okay, the battery's charged and
Hmm.
full. I decide what I
Hmm.
want to do and how I
Hmm.
want to use it. So it's the
Hmm.
same thing. It charges the system, and then the body's like, oh, thank goodness, now I have the energy to absorb those nutrients, repair that tissue,
Hmm.
detox this,
Hmm.
process these microbes, deal with this.
Yes.
And it just couldn't. It had to prioritize because
Yes.
if you only have so much energy, it's like, well, the
Mhm.
only thing I can do today is pee and poop. Like I can't do
Yes.
anything
Yes.
else. But
Yes.
now you've got full battery. Now I can and delay, take care of delayed things and regenerate and restore.
I love that. I think that's true healing
Hmm.
because we've talked about this, getting to the foundation. We're not giving a pill for every ill. We're
Yeah,
getting to the foundation within the cell.
yeah,
Love that.
yeah. I do too, and it's as it's been part of my evolution. I know yours too. It's like
Hmm.
getting less forceful and
Hmm.
more, more just giving it what it needs. And
Hmm.
this to me was a missing piece. Was the pure molecular energy. I was very sophisticated like you are, and like nutrients and herbs and these different
Hmm.
things, which are great, but they only go so far.
Hmm.
They only go so far. Yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you so much, Dr. Jeff. Just as a reminder, we are going to share a link to watch that first episode of the documentary. Again, it's Biohack Yourself, coming out December 15th.
Yeah.
Super, super excited about that. And we'll also share my page. So if people want to learn more, see what their options are and things like that, we'll certainly share that. Anything else? Any other takeaways that we want to cover?
No, I think that's it. That's
Yeah,
what I wanted to
great.
cover today. And yeah, I wish everyone, health and vitality and freedom and give yourself what you need to get there.
Absolutely. All right. So we're going to sign off today and we will come back with other videos. I hope you'll join us and subscribe. So we're going to pause recording.